Morning, right? Hello. Hi, everybody. How you doing? Well, that's good. Welcome to another edition of Big Daddy Graham's 10 Snacks from in the Kitchen. I haven't come up with a title for this show yet. And as you can tell, we're still in our bare bones mood here, or groove. Someday I think I'm going to add something behind me. And someday I think I'll be able to play music, not just talk about a song that I love, but actually be able to play it for you. None of that stuff is happening tonight. Right? First of all, let me thank the Crest Tavern, Timmy Fitz's Crest Tavern down there in Wildwood Crest. He has jumped on as the first official sponsor of the Big Daddy Graham Show. We love Timmy Fitz. Check out the greatest pork sandwiches on the planet Earth. He's open year round. So don't even think about going to Wildwood, North Wildwood, Wildwood Crest, Cape May without stopping in at Timmy Fitz's Crest Tavern to get one of those legendary pork sandwiches. All right? All right. We're going to do the same thing we did last week. I hold in my hand 10 index cards with 10 different topics on it, all right? And we will just all 10. This podcast could last a half hour. It could last an hour like it did last week, all right? Here we go with topic number one. We always start off with this health. That would be my health. Kind of had a weird week with my health. I mean, nothing bad happened to me. In fact, everything's working that is supposed to be working, but I just, like today. Today I had to go to McGee Rehab. Didn't have to go. I look forward to going. I have nothing but great memories from McGee Rehab. And I went down there, and then we had to wait a while for the New Jersey paratransit van to take me back. And I just got so stinking depressed. You know, I'm downtown. It's like 10 and 5, so it's rush hour. People walking all over the place, cars going by. And here me and my entire wheelchair is being lifted up. I got into this, what happened? Mood, like, how did this happen? It's just like some sort of a bad dream. The whole ride home, which by the way was close to a 2-hour ride home, right? It's about a 30-minute ride with no traffic. Oh my God. See, not only was there traffic, there was somebody else on the paratransit who he was dropping off before me. So it was bad. But hey, I'm still with it. Unlike Kirk Douglas, who right before I went on the air, uh, heard that he had passed away at like 103? 103 years old. When I was a kid, I loved Kirk Douglas. I really did. He was a man's man, as the expression likes to go. I'm Spartacus. Speaking of I'm Spartacus, I got to tell this story. All right. We had a movie theater in Southwest Philly called the Benson. All right. It was a really rundown movie house compared to this palace that was on the same block called the Ben, Benn. The Ben was a big deal. It really was. But the Benson, piece of shit, right? Anyway, Spartacus was playing at the Benson when they closed down. So there's no more movies at the Benson, except the marquee said Spartacus for 4 or 5 more years. It never came down. The building just remained empty. And Spartacus stayed up on this marquee for like 5 years. And wise guys, or when you wanted to be like a wise guy and wanted to get rid of somebody, look, here's a quarter. Go see Spartacus. That was a big line in my neighborhood. And of course, that means I remember movies when they were a quarter. Wow. How stinking old am I that I remember going to a movie for a quarter. I know Spence Knightley's around here somewhere. Was the Lennox a quarter? Lennox was a quarter too. Like in the daytime, and your parents couldn't wait to get rid of you. It wasn't like you didn't have to go, hey, Mom, can I go to the movies? They woke you up on Saturday with the quarter, said you're going to the movies. And like, tell you another way, have times changed. 9-year-olds were allowed to walk. I wouldn't say it was a mile, but it was damn close. A mile throughout city streets. Not big, huge city streets, little row home streets. But we were allowed to do this with no parental guidance. Just, go. And like hundreds of 9-year-old kids walking through the neighborhood, going to the movies. Anyway, Kirk Douglas, thanks for giving me the old, I'm Spartacus, dead at 103. Or is it 104? What does it matter? It's 103. It's not like he's beaten anybody, is he? Like, well, I wonder how many, like George Burns didn't make it to 100. Scott's here from Life Cycle, great bass player. He's looking that up now. Actors who made it to 100 years old. I can't think of anybody. Of course, in case you're wondering, Kirk Douglas is the father of Michael Douglas. Well, I'm really riffing on this one thing here. Kirk Douglas played R.P. McMurphy in the play Cuckoo's Nest. And he had the rights to make it into a movie and just couldn't get anybody to put the backing, for a movie about an insane asylum and all that. So the day before his rights were running out on One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Kirk Douglas said to his son Michael, who was now acting Streets of San Francisco, whatnot, and he said to his son, he goes, hey, you want the rights to this? I'll give it to you right now if you want the rights. That's how it went down. That's how Michael Douglas, the actor, got the rights to the movie One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and the rest was history. It won every Oscar that you can imagine. It helped that Kirk Douglas was close friends with Jack Nicholson, and Jack came on board, and there you go. I didn't plan to talk about any of that. But you just, somebody else's, George Burns did make it to 100. He's going to come up later on in this show, which is bizarre. Hope you enjoyed that. Let's get to the big sports story of the week. And that'd be the Super Bowl. What a great game. Let me get that out of the way. It was a great, great game. It was. I know some people are saying the 49ers really blew it in the second half. And yeah, their offense just couldn't get anything going. But I still thought it was a great game. And man, this Patrick Mahomes, man, oh my God. He's going to own this league. Barring injury, he's going to own this league. And let me get this out of the way. I got a bad cold. Sorry about that. I was rooting for Kansas City. I was. And I found myself as the game went on really rooting for Andy Reid as well. I despised Andy Reid in the last 3 years of his tenure as coach. I did. I wanted him gone, right? I just did. But an odd thing happened when the game started. I was not only rooting for the Chiefs because they have unbelievable fans, but I found myself rooting for him. I really did. And I watched the game over at my house, 10 to 12 people, not a huge party, but enough. And we were all rooting for Andy Reid. And I wasn't the only one who at one point couldn't stand him. I really was happy for him that he won that. And he appeared really happy, didn't he? He didn't go like the stoic route. No, he was really, really enjoying himself. Good for him. Buck Aikman called a good game. Other than that one uh, pass interference call against the Niners, there wasn't like the game didn't come down to one bad call, which was the case a lot this year for the NFL. The NFL has a serious officiating problem. That's all anybody ever talks about. I'll be on the air after an Eagles game, and it's referees. I'll come on the air after a Sunday night football game, a Monday night football game, a Thursday night football game, referee. The NFL fans have become so possessed with refereeing. Possessed. And they got a problem. And I don't have a clue on how to fix it. Because I think the referees are doing the best job they can. I don't think the NFL hires refs that suck. Right? The NFL hires the best refs they can find. It's just an impossible sport to ref. This is for another show. But I got a couple ideas. Not tonight. No more holding calls and no more pass interference. I'll keep you on the edge of your seat to next week when I discuss that. All right. The halftime entertainment show. All right. I don't know the music of Jennifer Lopez. I think she's a really good actress. If you ever get a chance, see this movie. Oh, frick. Scott, get on the, just dig up all Jennifer Lopez movies. She makes a movie with Robert Redford. So that's your connection there. Redford, Jennifer Lopez. It's a real quiet movie. There's no gun chases. An Unfinished Life. Check that flick out. An Unfinished Life. And Jennifer Lopez is really terrific in it. She really is. Shakira, other than she looks like $1 million, I really don't know anything about Shakira. Hips don't lie or whatever. It's not like my bag of music. However, if you look at the halftime entertainment show as being entertaining, it was really extremely well choreographed. Jennifer Lopez is 50. Shakira, I believe, is 46. It was, great eye candy for the guys, no doubt about that. And all the women I've talked to thought it was very well done. I get it. Guys could care less about dance choreography, but I can't fault the NFL for hiring these two chicks to do the show. I thought they did it well. So there you go. Meanwhile, I'm on Glenn and Ray's show, 94 WIP, which I'm getting ready to get back there as well. I'm on Glenn and Ray's show every Saturday at 11 o'clock. And every week I do a list. And I called Glenn up before I went on. And I said, Glenn, before I get to number one, you're going to have to go, what do you mean you got this performer at number 2? What do you mean you got this performer number 3? Who could possibly be better? So I needed him to do that, and he pulled it off real well. So here we go. These were, in my opinion, by the way, I was at Super Bowl 33. Let me say this. The game ends at halftime, right? Not ends, but, takes a break at halftime. So it's a football game. The players run off the field and into their tunnels, and then 8,000 people come running out on the field, moving stages and platforms and getting It's unbelievable to see how fast the production team of the NFL gets this together. And when you see a show like J-Lo and Shakira where they're dancing in the sky and amazing. It's really amazing to see it done. I don't remember anything particularly great about the halftime entertainment of Super Bowl 33. Now, I love Stevie Wonder, but the show was more dominated by Gloria Estefan. Whatever, it didn't. I don't remember anything about that. Ain't that weird? The only one I ever saw live. Here we go. Coming in as the fifth best halftime show ever. I could have went with a million guys here. I went with Paul McCartney because one, he's Paul McCartney, and two, it was in Jacksonville, which was the Eagles facing off against the Patriots. The game where McNabb puked and all that. It's a legendary game. I mean, I could have easily went with Tom Petty, Bruce Springsteen, The Who. I can name a whole lot of people that were probably as good as Paul McCartney, but because the Eagles were, so there you go, Paul McCartney, number 5. Coming in at number 4 was, who was coming in at number 4, damn it? U2. Okay, now U2 did a good show, a very good show. But then when Bono did that thing with his jacket, with all the names of the people who passed in the Twin Tower, a tragedy, it was really, really moving. I thought it was. So there we go with U2 came in at number 4. Number 3, this is very interesting. You know, only one act, one that I know of, ever performed as the halftime entertainment at a Super Bowl who wasn't a big star and then took his performance at the Super Bowl and it skyrocketed him into superstardom. That's Bruno Mars. Bruno Mars is first, he kind of did another one a couple years later, but that first one, man, everybody I was with watching it was going, dag, this guy's got it all. You know, he drummed, he had a great band it was super. So Bruno Mars coming in at number 4. Number 3, I just think, oh, wow, come on. Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson. Come on. You know, stop yourself. Grow up. Of course, that comes in at number 3. What a great moment. It would have meant nothing to me. I don't remember anything about the show except that one tit. That's it. One tit, and it ends up being an incredible, incredible show. I know this list is screwed up. I know I'm really missing somebody, and I don't know who it is. All right, coming in at number 2, I mean, Prince standing at the edge of the stage in the pouring rain, wound on that guitar, performing Purple Rain. I mean, it was just the best. And I don't know if you ever seen NFL Films did a special on halftime shows. And supposedly somebody had to, inform Prince before he even really got into the stadium that it was raining. And so Prince gets there and it's coming down. It wasn't some light rain. I mean, it's really coming down. And the producer of it is talking to Prince in a headset going, "Are you sure you're all right?" And Prince goes, "Can you make it rain harder?" It's real rain. It's not a Hollywood rain. "Can you make it rain harder?" was his response. So there you go. And this is where Glenn McMahon comes in. He goes, "Well, who could you possibly have at number 1? Yeah, Prince has to be. Who could do it?" And I said, George Burns. George Burns was the halftime entertainment. Now get ready for this, because a lot of people are going to assume that he was the halftime entertainment for like Super Bowl 10, right? 8, back when it was marching bands and out with people. No. George Burns, Super Bowl 21. That laid into the mix. Super Bowl, now before you go nuts here about like it was just George Burns standing on the field. No, there were 1,000 people on the field. It was stupid. It was a salute to Hollywood. Hollywood's 100th birthday or something, and the game was in L.A. But George Burns on the field kicked it off by lighting a cigar, told a quick joke. So just for the fun of it, I stuck George Burns in there. All right, sue me. All right. Boy, ordinarily this would have led my show here. Sixers. What's that index card say? It says Sixers, does it not? It says Sixers. I don't know how much more clear I can make this than I've been making it clear on my show at 94 WIP for about a year and a half, 2 years. Brett Brown has to be let go, fired, whatever word you want to use, now, this very second. Those 2 losses this week, humiliating losses to Miami and Boston, they were blowouts. They're losing by 30. It's done. Now look, I'm not going to tell you that the next coach in is going to come in and turn this team around. But we know it's not working with Brett Brown. And they got 2 players, unless I'm over-evaluating talent, and there's a chance I am, more on that in a second, you got to hope that the next guy in, whether it's Nate McMillan or any of the Van Gundys, I don't care, might be able to get a little more something out of Simmons and Embiid. And it's not like they're not giving you anything, but it just doesn't work. It doesn't flow. It doesn't look right. And the team has stopped playing defense. He's got to go. Congratulations to the Embiid and Simmons who made the All-Star team. Simmons, no doubt, deserved to make it. Embiid missed a fair amount of games again. You know me. You know how Eagle fans like to say they bleed green. Well, I bleed red, white, and blue for the Sixers. That's my team. That's the team I live and die with. And I'm not happy. And Brett Brown has to go. 6 years. 6 stinking years. He's had his opportunities. They're the 6th seed in the Eastern Conference. The 6th seed. A team that, before the season started, almost every national pundit picked the Sixers to go to the NBA Finals. Almost every one of them. He's got to go. And then he just got to hope that the next guy in can do something about it. I don't know what to tell you. Boy, how did this pop up this early in the show? Andrew Yang. And now many of you, based on the percentages I'm seeing, might not have any idea who Andrew Yang is. He's running for president on a Democratic ticket. And I saw him on Bill Maher's show this week. And I just fell in love with the dude. He's just a regular guy, but he's not a regular guy. He's an entrepreneur who's made millions, a self-starter, complete self-starter, he's making money teaching other people how to self-start. Look, just in case something catches fire, you're going to remember I gave you this name first. Now, would America vote for an Asian guy, as president? Every time my gut tells me probably not. I remember I said the same thing about Obama. I didn't think the country was going to vote a black man into the presidency, but particularly anybody with the name Obama, which, thanks to a lot of anti-Muslim feelings in this country. I just thought there was no way that a black guy with the name Obama would ever get in. So you know what? And I'm glad he got in. I voted for him twice. Um, I'm just putting the name in your head in case you haven't heard a lot about him. I think if you check him out, you'll be impressed. That's Andrew Yang. All right, here we go. Kobe. Okay. I started like a Facebook war, not even knowing that I had started this. I rarely post negative things on Facebook or Twitter, but I did post that I thought that the official Laker salute to Kobe was lame. All right. They pushed the game back because they wanted to have the proper amount of time to get the right salute to Kobe. And you got Usher singing this. Well, he started off by singing Amazing Grace. After like 8 minutes, I said, I've had enough of this, and I went over to something else. Came back 5 minutes later. Of course, I'm exaggerating, but he was still singing. And at that point, I didn't know what it was he was singing. Done. And from what I understand, Usher's glory days are a long time ago anyway. Done. That he's, Patti LaBelle of male singers. You start off with a song at one point, then you have no idea where it goes later. So the Usher thing was bad. And then they had some celloist come out, which is okay. But then they showed you Kobe talking up on the big screen. Then, of course, it came on your television. And every single clip they had shown, I saw 10 times during the week. I thought they were going to give you something you hadn't seen before. Now, mind you, it's still a salute to a man who had just passed away, a man whose death I was just as upset about as anybody. So, what happened was I posted this, and then, LeBron James's speech was okay too. I was ready to break down in a big puddle of tears. It just didn't happen. So I post that. And then some dude posted that, oh, I agree with you, Big Daddy. The Sixer salute to Kobe Bryant was way better. Okay, which it was, by the way. But I didn't post that. This guy posted it. Well, then the next post in is, shame on you, Big Daddy. A man dies, and now you're comparing tributes? Really? Is that what you're doing? Which I didn't. This other guy started it. But there was some truth to it. And I knew the second I hit that button that some people were going to get upset that I posted anything negative connected with Kobe whatsoever, because I have nothing negative to say about Kobe Bryant. In fact, last week's show, I praised him to the hill. Just one of the great players of all time. And when his life ended, he was doing a lot of stuff for a lot of people in a very quiet way. So I really dig the guy. But I'm sorry, that's how I felt at that moment. That the one team that should have had the greatest salute ever, a team that postponed the game, by the way. The NBA gave them permission to push the game back. And it was for what? There you go. You can make comments as this show is going on. And of course, you can always send me a tweet later at Big Daddy Graham. Same thing with Facebook. Follow me at Big Daddy Graham. All right, what's next? Let's go with music. down there, over there, is a door that takes me down to my basement. And in my basement is what I happen to think is an amazing, amazing music collection. These are just guesses, but about 1,500 vinyl albums, close to that in CDs. I would say about 750 vinyl 45s. Okay. I actually have a vinyl jukebox. First thing you see when you walk into my house. And 7 years ago, anybody who saw it went, oh my God, now it's totally irrelevant. And even I now am starting to ignore this collection. When I got hurt back on July 21st, to me, music was still vinyl and CDs and all that, but I can't go in my basement anymore. It's difficult for me to put an album on and put the, drop the needle on the record. But what's real easy for me to do is take the remote on my television and say, play Stray Cat Blues by the Rolling Stones YouTube. And it comes out of my TV, and I got a sound bar. Highly recommend getting a sound bar. They're not expensive. They're like $100, and they're great. And not only do I see like a video that might go along with it, it wouldn't with Stray Cat Blues, but it would with Life Cycle. And all I got to do is lay there on my fat ass in my bed and go, play, Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen and, play, whatever by Pearl Jam. And it all comes down. Just me laying there talking to it. I got to speak to it in my remote. And of course, I got Alexa. I can't say its name too loud because it's playing in the background. So even I now, technically speaking, I'm never going to have to go down there again. Ever. Now, is the quality as good as a CD or a vinyl record? Probably not. But in my experience, if you blast it, it doesn't matter. If you blast something that's just playing through your Alexa and YouTube and all that, if it's really loud, like windows shaking loud, like I play Led Zeppelin, window 9-inch nails, windows shaking loud, it sounds fine. And if you're drunk or high, it's so my own collection is becoming obsolete. Movies, forget about it. I don't have time to watch all the series and whatnot that I do during the week. So I'm obsolete. This collection that I thought was going to mean everything to my daughters when I passed on already means nothing. Unless you love looking at the album covers, which I do, I admit, but do my daughters love looking at album covers? No, they don't. There are some people in this world who still like looking at them, but damn. And you know what? I used to be a guy that my friends would call to say, hey, man, what was the name of that Jethro Tull song? It's not on Aqualung. I think it's on Benefit. It goes like this. And I would know the answer. Oh, no, that's actually on, that's called Beret. And it's off Stand Up, their second album. I would know that. Nobody has to call me anymore. They look it up on their iPhone. Look at me. I'm turning obsolete. That's why it's so important. You call your friends and tell them to listen to this podcast. This is 94 WIP is all I got left. All right, what else? All right, we're down to 4 more topics. Thanks to the Crest Tavern again. Timmy Fitz, my man. Got to make sure I mention him enough. Money, okay? Let's go with money. Andre Iguodala has not played 1 minute for the Memphis Grizzlies this year. Not 1 minute. It appears like he told them before the deal was made that he didn't want to play there. He was coming off an injury. But somehow, throughout all of this, he's making $17 million this year, which in the world of sports is nothing. I get it. But $17 million, and he hasn't played a second. And I don't even think he's claiming he's hurt anymore. In fact, he's told the Grizzlies to trade him at the trading deadline so he can play for someone else. Yet they're paying him. Oh man, pro sports it's just the best. And do I begrudge Andre Iguodala? No. Is somebody putting a gun? I hate that expression, but are the owners being forced to pay anybody any this money? No, they're not. They're making it. There's not one NBA owner who buys a team for $200 million, and then when they do sell it 10 years later, it's worth $400 million. So everybody's making money. Good for Andre Iguodala. It's just insane. $17 million, and he's getting, wow. But did I say we have 4 left? Did I miss one? Did the music? No, I guess. Well, this show's just rolling along. Where's Spins? Well, be ready. I'm going to need you in a second here. You got a phone, right? You got a phone. All right. Here's this week's bother. When I was 10, 11, 12, I would say almost up to the age of 25 when I started to make money as Big Daddy Graham. I would be sitting in the cheap seats way up top at a Sixer game. And I used to stare. I'm not kidding. I used to stare at the people in the front row and, just wish that I could get down to that front row. I got close. I got to the 10th row. I had season tickets in the 10th row for about 10 years before I very stupidly sold them. But anyway, it was those front row seats. And here's what me and my buddy, Mouse McCourt, used to do. We would stare at 2 empty seats in the front row. And now the first quarter's just ended. And no one is, no one watching the game. But when the ball goes out of bounds or there's a timeout or somebody's shooting a free throw, we're taking a quick glance at those 2 seats. First quarter ends. They're still empty. Midway through the second quarter, they're still empty. 8 minutes left to go. That is about midway through the second quarter. They're still empty. So when halftime came, we went right to the seats. The spectrum was easy to do because people going in and out, usher can't bother. We would kind of squeeze in and go down and sit in those 2 seats. And I would tell you, we were successful doing this 80% of the time, maybe more. Like the 2 people who really owned the tickets, pop in. They're not there by the end of the half. They're not coming. And I'll tell you how pathetic we became. We're eyeing these 2 seats out, me and my boy Mouse. And we get down there to these 2 empty seats that have been empty the whole half. And there's 2 like 16-year-old dudes sitting there. And guess what we did since we were like much older looking? I walked up to them and went, "Hey, do you got tickets for these seats?" "Oh, no, we don't. No, that's fine." And they got up and they went away. And then we sat in them. I'm going straight to hell for this. So then this is where the bother comes in. I wanted to explain that story to you about how much that first row always meant to me. I'm watching The Sixers the other night, they're in Miami, but this can happen anywhere. There's a guy in the front row talking on his cell phone. In the front row. That to me is death. Death penalty. Who wouldn't give that guy the death? He deserves it. Front row on his cell phone. All right, Spins, get behind me. Back there, uh, uh, talking on the phone and waving at the camera. Yeah, that guy's close. He gets life in jail. I'm not going to. All right, look at the freaking. Uh, oh my God. I've gotten used to that guy a little bit, but not in the front row, okay? But not in the front row. All right, there you go. Um, what else? Here we go. Last week I talked about spirituality. This week I'm talking about the word faith. Now, I cannot thank you folks enough. Since this horrible accident happened to me, you've reached out to me by the thousands. And the word faith has come up in a lot of messages from people that I'm never going to meet who I love for sending me these messages. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But the word faith has come up a lot. You got to have faith. And I don't. I'm terrible. I think the worst all the time. And to compound things, I'm not exactly sure who I have faith in. I mean, I don't believe there's anybody upstairs or downstairs. I don't think. I probably will, like on my deathbed, like real, what do they call that? Foxhole religion. All of a sudden, bombs are going off around you. You find faith real fast. But I've never really had a lot of faith. But when I get all these people tell me I gotta have faith, I want to have faith. I just don't know how to get it. And I have nothing against people who have faith. I'm just being honest with you. I don't have it. And I'm not exactly sure what I'm supposed to have faith in. I have faith that my wife is taking unbelievable care of me. I have faith that I have friends who have been coming over to my house and entertaining me. And, I've gained 50 pounds from all the food they brought over. I don't, I see, I don't even know if that's faith. I think it's, I'm supposed to be having faith in something up there, right? I think that's what people mean. Have faith in something up there. But the only thing I see up there is a ceiling fan and the second floor ceiling. I want to have it. I really do. I want to have it. If anybody, maybe I should go to CCD, the 10 game plan for Catholics. Maybe I should. I don't. Again, I see that sounded sarcastic. Let me rid myself of the sarcasm. I'm serious when I say this. I want to have it. People keep telling me to have it. And the reason why they're telling me is because this dreadful thing has happened. But they're letting me know I'm still going to be able to do neat things like this podcast. Right? And I get that. But I already know I can do these things without this faith. But since so many people are telling me that I must have it, I want it. So write to me, seriously, and tell me where I can buy it. I got money, uh, you know, whatever. I'm leaving this for last. Uh, the movies, the Oscars are this Sunday. So I thought I would touch on the Oscars a little bit. The Oscars has nobody seems to care about them as much as they used to, but me and my wife still do. Unfortunately, and I hate when this happens, there's a bunch of movies I haven't seen because it is. because of the situation I'm in. I haven't been to a movie theater, and I hate paying for movies. I'm already spending like $1.90 on my cable, and I know people who spend more than that on their cable. So what am I going to do? Spend $1.90 and then another $6, $11, whatever it might be, to watch a movie I haven't seen yet? I I, I might do this for the Oscars. I did not put this. Oh yeah, I don't want to do that first. This is no, I don't want to do that first. All right, best actor in a leading role: Antonio Banderas. I did not see Pain and Glory. Leonardo DiCaprio. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He was great. Adam Driver in Marriage Story. I didn't even like the movie that much. Jonathan Pryce in The Two Popes is good, but this is a slam dunk. This is not even close. Joaquin Phoenix has to win for Joker. It's it's painful to watch. I don't even know how he did it. If anybody wants to say that must be him in real life, I buy it. Because the pain and suffering and torment that he brings in his role, it's Joaquin Phoenix in a slam dunk. All right, supporting role. Oh God, I only saw. Well, all right, I saw three of them. I did not see Tom Hanks in A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, but the movie's about Mister Rogers. And who does Tom Hanks play? Mister Rogers. There's no way this is a supporting role. Without me even seeing the movie, it's like they wanted to get Hanks in there just because he's Tom Hanks. I love Tom Hanks. Excuse me, Tom Hanks. But please, there's no way that's a supporting role. So he's out. Anthony Hopkins, uh, very good in The Two Popes. Not a supporting role, all right? Which is odd because Anthony Hopkins won Best Actor for Silence of the Lambs. It's the fewest amount of minutes any Best Actor ever won an Oscar for. Now, how long is in Silence of the Lambs? 25 minutes. 25 minutes. So that's what he should have gotten Best Supporting for in an odd way. Now he's being nominated in a supporting role where he's the star of the damn movie. So I really, all right, I saw Al Pacino and Joe Pesci. They're both very good. They both have won Oscars. Brad Pitt has never won an Oscar. He's a great actor. He's always been great. But because he's a pretty boy and he became the new guy that, guys standing on the corner drinking would go, "Who do you think you are, Brad Pitt?" It's became that. He's great. I hope he gets it. And I think he will for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Supporting actress role. Margot Robbie. God, she's Florence Pugh in Little Women. I did not see Little Women. I did not see Richard Jewell, which Kathy Bates is nominated. I did see Laura Dern in what I thought was a mediocre movie. And I did see Scarlett Johansson in one of my favorite movies of the year, Jojo Rabbit. So I got to give it to Scarlett Johansson, just in case she stumbles upon this podcast. Of course, I love you, Scarlett. I do. I love you. Really. If my wife was stuck in a mine shaft, I would hook up with Scarlett Johansson first, then dig my wife out. To which my wife once called the morning show and went, "Go ahead, call Scarlett Johansson. I'm sure she wants your raggedy ass in a wheelchair." But I think for some reason Laura Dern's going to win it because she won the Golden Globes and whatnot. But Scarlett Johansson's really good in Jojo Rabbit. And it is a true supporting role. There's one moment in the movie of incredible sadness because of Scarlett Johansson. So I hope she wins it. It appears that Laura Dern is going to. I did Best Actor, right? Supporting Actor, Supporting Actress, Best Actress. I didn't see Judy, but everybody I know who has seen it says Renee Zellweger is unbelievable in it, and I was a big Judy Garland fan, so I that's who I think is going to win. I do. I didn't see Harriet, but I will. I have a screener. I'll see you, Harriet. Cynthia Erivo, uh, Erivo, sorry, is nominated for that. Scarlett Johansson's nominated for Marriage Story. Sorry, the chick from Brooklyn, Saoirse Ronan, Little Woman, didn't see it. I'll tell you what, Charlize Theron is great in Bombshell. She really is. Uh, that'd be my vote, just in case Charlize is watching it. I'm not even saying your name right. All right, movie of the year. How to Train Your Dragon, didn't see it. A Lost. Oh wait, that's animated. That's animated movie. Is anything else on there? No. All right. Oh geez, I don't even think I have all the. I do. Here we go. Ford versus Ferrari. This is for Best Picture. I didn't see it, and I want to see it. It looks really cool, and it got great reviews. I didn't see it. The Irishman. I don't know how much plainer I can put this. It blows. It's just 3.5 hours of nothing. Seriously, it's terrible. Jojo Rabbit. If Jojo Rabbit wins the movie of the year, I'll be fine with that. It pulls off the impossible. A movie set in Nazi Hitler Germany about a kid who's like a member of the Nazi Party, but it's a comedy at many points, then turns tragic. It's really good. If you haven't seen Jojo Rabbit, here's my problem. As much as I love Jojo Rabbit, I gotta tell you, no movie hit me emotionally like the Joker did. Oh my God, did I love the Joker? Did not see Little Woman. Marriage Story, no, forget it. It's okay. 1917, here's my big problem. Everybody is saying it's great. People I know have seen it, all the critics, that's the one. I might cough up the big $6 and watch it at home before Sunday. I just might do that. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I thought it was great. Then I watched it a second time. I still thought it was really good, but it's too long. Like all Quentin Tarantino movies. They're great the first time you see them, and you see them the second time, and they're way too long. But all his movies always have great scenes. And like the last 15 minutes, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is like, oh my God, staggering. So here we go. I myself personally would give it to Jojo Rabbit, only because, Joker, because no movie hit me emotionally as powerful as that one did. But Jojo Rabbit was real close, and it kind of ends on a good note. And there's a lot. I think Jojo Rabbit's going to win. I do. It's going to be like this big upset, and I would have no problem with that. Thanks to Timmy Fitz's Crest Tavern. Thanks to Spins Nightly for hanging around. My man from Life Cycle, Scott, kind of produced the show, and he showed up not thinking he was going to. I'm really glad he did, because I would have no idea. Am I going out? No. I tell you what. I will. Give me 2 questions. What is my favorite album cover? Wow, you just can't throw that at me like that. I love. All right, here we go. Morrison Hotel, The Doors. I love that cup. I love the feel of it. The front's back, the back's great. And then when you open it up, and it's the four of them sitting at that dive bar, there you go. Not a bad topic, though, for a future show. Thank you. Tell all your friends. I am going to be back on WIP. I said it last week, and I'll say it again. Within the month. I don't know what form, what fashion, what time, any of that, but I will be. But meanwhile, you can listen to me here. By tomorrow, you'll be able to listen to me in your car at BigDaddyGraham.com. But if you're home and you got your laptop, you can watch and listen to it anytime you want, starting now, right? I think starting now. Hey, thanks for tuning in later.